Hello everyone, welcome to this second session on Zentangle Whiteouts. The first session we drew a tile where we used that concept, right? This was the tile that we drew, and in this tile this was the white portion, and we tangled all around so that the white portion becomes the highlight of the tile, right? So there are many such string ideas which you can use wherein you can highlight the white portion. So during this series we will try out different string ideas, right? So today we will be drawing around an alphabet, right? So there are many videos or there are many things that you can do to deck up the alphabet, tangle on the alphabet, illuminate the alphabet, right? Make an embedded alphabet. Whiteout is a concept wherein we will not touch this alphabet, we will touch all the space around it, right? So let's get started. So this is a simple S that I have drawn on my paper, right, on my tile. So I first drew one S and then added another aura at a distance, right? So first we have these spaces. Let's get started. So these are nice spaces to tangle. So what I'm going to do is just add some aura like this inside this space. Yeah, it is entirely up to you. How do you want to and what do you want to add? Next is I'm going to add some mocha here, right? Again, go like this. So you can choose tangles of your choice. There is no hard and fast rule. What do you want to draw, right? So I have drawn fit in a muka there, and this is a simple tangle called Ansu, right? So I will be naming the tangles that I used in my previous tile also in this session. So let's get started. Let's extend this a little more. So I'm going to now probably add some flux. You can add any tangle of your choice. So let's see. Nice balloon like beautiful flux, right? So you can add any tangle of your choice. Feel free. Whatever comes easily to you, go with those tangles. So I'm just selecting tangles randomly, not thinking much, but ensuring that I don't touch my inside of the S, right? So I've drawn some flux here. Now let us add a tangle called Exorus, or you can add droop. There's so many tangles that you can go with. Yeah, so let's see, we'll probably add some droop, right? So I've drawn some lines crossing each other, and then I'm auraing each of the V shapes inside, preparing my lines for the tangle droop. Right, so once we are done with that, droop has these curved lines, double C arranged in circle. So take your time, draw them in layers. then Tangle Original, Droop, right? So I'm not going to add any more. So let's see, we'll then extend it a little further. Now this space, again up to you, what do you want to add? Choose tangles that come to you easily. Adding a little weight there to my print terms. Slowly add a little weight under the curved lines like this. Yeah, small little spaces, feel free to insert some tipple. Right, again choose tangles of your choice. Here you can always add some jongle probably. So I'm just choosing tangles randomly. Don't think too much. Go with what comes easily to you. Right, so this is the jongle grid, and now I'm going to just ink. Alternate spaces, just like night spread, just that the grid is little different. In case you are new to these tangles, I have done videos on these tangles, almost all these Zentangle originals, right? So you can always go to my channel and have a look at those videos, learn how to draw those tangles, practice them, and then so I'll just ink. So I have done the inking in my jongle. Now some bit of inking that you can do in your droop also. So just leave a highlight and ink these bands also. They add a lot to the look of the tangle. So I'll just show you one. Take your time and slowly ink these bands with a highlight which will make it look like a luster or shine on your droop. Although you can do that with your chalk. Just in case you forget and you ink all, you can always use your chalk to give that highlight. Yeah. So take your time and slowly go to each. Add that highlight and ink the rest. Small little spaces, so don't haste up. Go slow. Yeah. So I'm now on the last one. Right. So last but not the least, your droop is not complete without this etching. So just add these nice thatching on your droop. Really adds to the look of the tangle. You can skip the innermost section if you want because it is pretty tiny. The rest of the two layers you can always add this etching. Take your time. So you can see how it adds to the look of your tangle. Yes, add small little dots or buds. Yeah, then let us extend a little bit of mocha here. So I'm just going by the shapes, by the spaces that I have, not thinking much how, what, where. Yes, abiding by the outer line of my S, mocha and some flux. Right, now you can add some poke roots. So this is going to be a totally organic one, but you can always try different things. Again, depends on your choice of tangles. Make sure you fill in the small little tiny spaces here and there. Tangle poke root. Take your time. Right? Again, I'm going to insert another tangle called doodles here. Right? Another one from here. So why I choose more organic tangles? Because they are flowy and they can be easily morphed, or they can be easily transitioned from one to the other. You don't have to make much effort because there is no grid and all involved, so you can easily move from one to the other. Right, that's why I am sticking to more organic tangles, but I did use jongle also, so you can see how it is sitting at one corner. So although I find it a little easier to go with organic tangles, right, but it is again, it is a matter of your own comfort. Another mocha coming from here. So again, choose tangles that come to you easily. Right, so I'm just going by the spaces that I have, inserting tangles that will fit into those spaces without too much of effort, too much of adjustment. This is the tangle Rix T. Right? I'm just going to, yeah. So I'm just going with the flow, using the spaces that I have. To insert my tangles. Small little fillers here and there, some inking, depending on what spaces do I have. Right? So just go with the flow. Small little spaces, feel free to ink. Yeah, so I'm filling in the inside of my muka with very small little tipples, fine ones. You can add any other tangle of your choice, feel free. Yeah, so again you can add some here also, or you can add some lines. Adding some orbs. You can also add some inside if you feel like. Like this. Yeah, now extending it a little more, so what you can do is add probably a marasu sitting here, small one, not very big. I think this would be enough. Yeah, again with marasu you have different options. You can go with the regular inking, or you can add some other tangles inside. Let's see, what do we want to do? So just creating the grid first, right? Small little spaces inside. You can either aura it, or you can just leave it as it is. Fine, either ways. So let us see. I'll first add some lines. These are dotted lines, lines with a highlight, broken lines. right? And this space, I think it would be nice to ink. So I am going to ink it with a highlight. So whole mix of tangles that I am using here, and you can see how they comfortably mingle with each other. No problem in adjustment at all. Yeah, flowing from one to the other. Sitting there, the Marasu silently watching. Take your time. Right? Again from the other side. Yeah, almost done there. And the last few. Right, so just redo the line so that it is prominent enough. It's always a good idea to do that. Right, small little spaces. Again, pick up some filler tangles, something like a mesh or something, bead lines. I'm just going to insert a mesh. This tangle is called Orleek. It's a nice filler tangle. Right, now you can always add some caviars here. I'm just having fun here, so feel free to choose tangles that you like. Right, you can add some more of printums here if you want. Again, add some weight. After you have drawn, or you can do that exercise while you are drawing also. Go back and add the weight. Yeah, you can add some embellishment here to your printums. Small petals. Right, again some moons, some printums, whatever you feel like. Very small little spaces, feel free to add tipple or ink it in. Adding some moons here. I'm totally having a gala time. Just creating a mix of tangles, randomly, not thinking much what, where, heaping my moons one over other, depending on whatever spaces I have. So just take your time. So I'm done with that exercise. Filled up the corners with moon, right? If you want, you can add some bit of orbs there also. There is no end to embellishments. Some big ones. But again, these are optional things. You can add lines, you can add orbs, you can do anything you feel like. Right? So let us start to shade now. So let's start with our, now there are two ways to go about shading this. I'm just going to add graphite on one side, right? So let's see what happens. Some on the head and some on the side. Or probably like this. Yeah, moving to our droop on the V. And just zoom out a little. Yeah. So need not add too much, because when you blend it, it will look totally gray. So just restrict your graphite to just the edges, very minimal. Then comes the beautiful toodles. The mocha. The moons on the intersections. Small little spaces there, just fill it in. Yeah, a little touch on the stems of the Rixty, not much. Where you have added weight on the printum, both sides of the Marasu where you have not shaded or inked, that is where the shading is going to show, right? On one side of the poke roots. One side of the flux. Again, where you have added weight, right? As far as jongle is concerned, again, skip one, again add, skip one, again add, like that. So one here, skip this line, again on this line, skip this line, again on this line. That's generally the way you shade. Let's first blend and then we shall see if we want to add something else. So make sure your S remains clear. Don't blend too much. So you have a whole lot of tangles there. It's almost a tangle jungle. So if you have to do justice to all, then don't blend too much. Just touches. On the moons. Yeah. Little under the stem. Just blur the graphite. Let the whites also be visible. Marasu, the white portions, both sides. Again, this is not any standard way of shading these tangles, right? So you can always go with what you feel like. I'm going with what I feel like. Take your time, be patient, give as much time to shading as you spend tangling. Go to each tangle, patiently shade each as they start to breathe. When you shade them appropriately, again, I'm just using the tip. I'm not blending too much. My stub is almost straight, so I want the center white. I'm trying to keep the center white. Yeah, like this. And this one, the beautiful Ansu. Yeah, and the jungle. No need to add graphite on the white, on the black sections. So now is the time for white chalk, right? So half of this has been shaded with your graphite. So remaining half you can always highlight with your chalk. The inside you can always highlight with your chalk. The centers, there is already a highlight. I'm just redoing with my chalk to highlight it a little more, and it will show only when the center is white. That's why it's important that you don't blend too much. The other side of printums can be highlighted with your white chalk like this, wherever they are, right? This is already highlighted. If you want, you can run your chalk once more over it, but it's already there, right? Again, this portion of the moon you can highlight, right? So I think you don't need anything else. The other side of the jungle, This part you can highlight. And that's about it. I don't think we need anything else here. Other side of flux, if you want, you can add a little chalk. And that's about it. Your doodles are really standing out. If you want, you can add some puffs. Right, so that's our S, which has been highlighted by not tangling. Yeah, so that's another way of doing your alphabets, by not tangling. So I'm just going to put my chalk here, close it here, sign and date it. Don't forget to appreciate your work. Yeah, express your gratitude towards this beautiful art form. A whole lot of tangles that we have used here. So let me quickly mention the tangles that we have used here. So the tangles that we have used today, starting from here, these are all Zentangle originals, right? This tangle is called droop, right? This tangle. These are printums. This leaf-like, petal-like tangle is called toodles. Right? Then it is followed by caviars and rixties. Right? In the corner we have crescent moon. Here is a marasu sitting. These are poke roots and mukas. And finally we have jongle here. Right, so we have used a mix of tangles here. This is also muka. This is a tangle called ansu, which just goes like this. Yeah, so these are the tangles. Of course stipple is there as a filler everywhere. So this is what we used in this style, and the last style that we drew was this, right? In this style we have used knight's bridge. I'll just take it out of the sleeve. So this border tangle was a knight's bridge tangliation. Right, and then we again used flux. These are both tangliations. We use flux in this also. These are the same tangle but used differently. Yeah, and then outside tangle was ravel along with some banzo, which is the inside of the ravel, and some bronze cheers. These are all Zentangle originals, right? So I'll see you again with another new session and another new whiteout idea. If you want, you can even practice some of the strings that I think will help you understand the concept better. So I'll just give you a few strings. So this is one string which works very well with whiteouts. So you draw a slight curved line and then you add a semicircle here. It works pretty well as far as whiteouts are concerned. Yeah, you have to leave this space empty and then you fill up the rest of the space. Again, this string also works very well as far as whiteouts are concerned. You just tangle on this and you leave this space empty. You can also draw a droplet kind of a shape like this and then tangle all around. Right, so try these ideas and I'll see you again with another new session. Till then, have a good time.